It's great to hear all these voices. When you are in a room full of Aggies, though, there is only one way to greet, and I know that that's howdy. So howdy, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Fort Worth. If you could please stand and join us in the invocation, I need James Emmons, CFO with Seton Hill Partners, who will lead us, and Harriet Harrell, principal of the Harrell Group, with the National Anthem. Thank you, James.
Hey, thank you. Good afternoon, all. And thanks for letting me participate in today's presentations. Please bow your head. Lord, we ask for your blessings upon this meeting and on people of goodwill everywhere. May we prove ourselves worthy as citizens of our great country as we are devoted to truth, sincere in fellowship, given to service, and confident in steadfast faith. Preserve us faithful to these ideals. Let us stand firm when the fight is hard. Give us strength sufficient for this day. Make us as big as our problems and to stay bigger than our responsibilities. God, help us to live up to our capabilities and bless this food as we nourish our bodies and minds. Amen.
We are delighted to have so many fabulous guests today. Kashondalyn Bryant, Regional Manager, After School Programming for Idea Schools. She is going to introduce our visiting guests and Rotarians. Do you have a list? In the meantime, it looks like Kashondalyn may not be here yet, so welcome to all of our guests and Rotarians. I may be able to add some information there in just a moment. In the meantime, I would like to thank our sponsors. We have two sponsors today. At Sierra Bank, they believe in community. Since 1890, they have made a difference in providing independent banking services across North Texas and recently opened their 9th location. Their motto, with you, for you, since 1890. Sierra Bank CEO Charlie Powell and Senior VP Henry Barbola are both members of our Rotary Club. And we are proud to have our second sponsor, Texas A&M, with 72,876 students and more than 508,000 former students. Texas A&M is globally recognized as a research-intensive land, sea, space grant university dedicated to addressing the pressing challenges of our time and training leaders for the challenges of tomorrow. The Division of Academic and Strategic Collaboration manages community impact programs and initiatives, including cultural assets, global engagement, and continuing education. Thank you again to both of our sponsors. We have many esteemed guests here today, and I'm going to fill in for Kashondalyn, and I have not previewed these. I hope that I can pronounce the names correctly. We have so many esteemed guests that sometimes we will not read them, but in an effort to let you know who's with you today, in case you would like to find them afterwards, we're going to go through them. So, our Texas A&M guest list: Dr. Susan Balabina, Casey Oliver, Bobby Adier, Kim McQuistion, Leyland Copeland, Judge Mark Pittman, Marianne Auld, Brad Barnes, Mark Oliver, Mary Margaret Lemons, Matt Carter, Credence Baker, Courtney Davis, Kelly Weatherman, Kevin Starbuck, Dr. Rupa Iyer, Judge Hugo Martinez, Judge Audrey Moorhead, who's also a Dallas Rotarian, Lynn Nash, Tave Doty, Shakita Johnson, Kayla Daly, Brent Wilson, David Keltner, who is a Rotarian, a member of our club, Dee Kelly. Welcome, all of you. We have some additional guests. Heather Ramona is a guest of Rachel Marker. Trey Harris is a guest of Greg Carter. And Wes Hoblet is a guest of Ashley LeCamp. Annika Nelson with Jared Sloan. Andrew Widmer is a guest of Courtney Lewis. I hope I have it. Oh, past District Governor Kayla Christensen is with us today. Thank you. So at our Rotary meetings, we have a tradition where we repeat the four-way test. It's 24 words that are the core moral code for business and personal relationships in Rotary. So please help me repeat them from the slide. Number 1, is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Now, forget everything I just said. We're going to suspend that momentarily as Judge Don Pearson is going to present the newscast.
I tell you, that picture does not meet the four-way test. That thing's so old. I think I had some hair back then. Okay, thank you. Now, I'm putting on my judge face, and not to appear critical, but it seems a certain plane loaded with Venezuelans got a much warmer welcome in Martha's Vineyard. Come on, it was, okay. I gotta get with the pace. Here we go. I know what you're thinking, but before you believe my appearance self-serving because this is an election year, I ran this by Jim Austin, and Jim Austin said it would be just fine. So, and Bob, I think Bob was asleep. Bob Mitchell was asleep somewhere. Okay, let's briefly highlight several items in the news this past week. First, there was a funeral. Next, after stepping out of line, well, there was a funeral. It's not funny. I'm not making light of it, Courtney. There we go. Next, after stepping out of line into Ukraine 6 months ago, Putin may have stepped into it again as he has reinstated a limited draft. Airplane tickets out of Russia are almost as hard to come by as SMU football tickets tomorrow. And I understand there's some protest down the street about the prices of the tickets and the lack of availability. Okay. Also this week, fall made its annual appearance, but temperatures are still up, interest rates are up, hurricanes are up, or heating up, and the market is down and oil is down. Now let's move to some important stuff, sports. The Cowboys are playing Monday night. Good luck with that in New York City. Even with last night's win over Cleveland, the Texas Rangers are now mathematically eliminated from both this year's and next year's playoffs. Well, you know I speak the truth. Okay, New York Yankee Aaron Judge New York Yankee player Aaron Judge home run count is still at 60 with 13 games left by my count. So we'll see how that works out. Okay, let's move to local news. Reports from the Rio Grande Valley indicate there may be a drawdown of Guard troops at the border. Now, you'll notice this coincides with a semi-annual caravan of Winnebagos from Arkansas filled with feral hogs coming to town for some giant Aggie FFA get-together at Jerry World. Okay, now if you'll notice on the table, next week, look for some special jerky to go on sale at both Central Market and Buc-ee's. That was a lot funnier than you guys are giving me. Come on, how topic? I didn't even know they were going to have that stuff on the table. Okay, prescient. Okay, remember when the Aggie commitment to Fort Worth consisted of a core trip parade every other year. As you can tell, they're now working to establish a beachhead on the south part of downtown, centered around their law school. That makes sense. I want you not to worry. The Aggie Law graduates are both capable and most stylish in their three-piece overalls, and they're available at closeout prices at Tractor Supply. When's the last time you even heard Tractor Supply? My wife loves that place, actually. Okay, in Lubbock, the University of Texas visits Texas Tech. While Tech is a 7-point dog, the over-under on thrown objects is 200,000 tortillas by the end of the game. Have you ever been to one and seen those clowns? They're 10 to a package, do the math. In Dallas, we have the battle for the Iron Skillet, TCU against SMU. The Ponies are loading up for Sonny Dykes' return to Dallas after his move to TCU. No tickets remained for the game, and the lowest priced ones I saw were about $160 and up. Reportedly, some went for in excess of $10,000, $15,000. I find, unless that was some SMU MBA, I doubt that they would pay that much for it. So anyway, the turnout could break the Ford Stadium attendance record, but this is a big deal, people. I mean, we're just two tiny little church schools around here. So I'm about to finish. There we go. I thought I'd get something out of that. If this isn't enough excitement, Top Gun Maverick is still showing throughout the Metroplex this weekend. No matter what you do this weekend, get some popcorn and load up. Thank you.
Thank you, Don, and there you have it. Everything you need to know. You are all caught up. So today, we are celebrating Constitution Day along with our guests. It was actually earlier in the week. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. That, of course, is the preamble. It brings a heightened awareness of civility, civic discourse, responsibilities and privileges of citizenship. The same communication skills that are used in courtrooms have application in every aspect of life, from classrooms to dining rooms to boardrooms. As we recognize Constitution Day, we also honor so many of you that are joining us, esteemed jurists. You are uniquely positioned to uphold and protect this vital document. Ed Meese, the 75th Attorney General of the United States, says this: in the end, the continued success and viability of our democratic republic depends on our fidelity to and faithful exposition and interpretation of this Constitution, our great Charter of Liberty. Thank you all for your service. And now we do have a special guest, past District Governor Kayla Christensen. Please join us here on the stage.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, I came and I visited you last Rotary year, as well as last fiscal year, and I really liked your culture and the jovialness and friendliness that you all had, but I've actually been watching you guys for a few years now, because you kind of came on my radar when I became district governor nominee, and I started to watch with the criteria that I was given as district governor to be able to award a very high award to a club based on 10 criteria. Some of the criteria was obviously to have more members, but I put a little caveat, a little asterisk on that one, and I said not only do I want a club to have more members, but I want them to have members that demographically represent their community. I think you all do that. Additionally, having service projects that you are making family friendly. So it's not just a bunch of the same Rotarians out doing the same thing. And of all that criteria, it was awarded 0 to 1 club to get 0 to 100. And you all ranked the highest amount by 1 point. That 1 point came because you all invited me to every one of your service projects that you did. And since it's my award to give, and I'm a millennial, I got to decide. So, past President Courtney, can you please join me up here? Because out of the 74 clubs in our district, 31 counties, 3,500 Rotarians, and you all as the second largest club in the state of Texas, have won the Governor's Cup.
Thank you very much. I did not do it alone. I had a lot of help last year, making last year great. And thank you for the recognition, Kayla. Appreciate that. And we will continue under President Sean's leadership. Thank you.
Congratulations, Courtney, that is so well-deserved. I can vouch. She was at every project. We watered those bluebonnet seeds so many times, and she rode that bicycle 100 miles and mineral wells. So, and Kayla, thank you for being here. If I could please now introduce Betty Harvey with Craig Kennedon with a new member introduction.
Thank you, President Sean, and congratulations to Courtney and our club. It's a tough act to follow. Thank you. Today, I'd like to introduce Dr. Craig Kennedon, and the most difficult thing about Dr. Craig is his last name, Kennedon. So you'll have to practice that since he is going to be our new member here. Dr. Kennedon is a family medicine physician and has been in Fort Worth for over 20 years. And he went to medical school at the University of Texas Health Science Center in Houston. He did his internship and his residency here in Fort Worth at John Peter Smith. He also is involved in a master's program with Johns Hopkins for population health to further his knowledge, which I can't imagine won't help everybody in this room, Tarrant County, Fort Worth, you name it. Okay, so for his memberships, he is a member of the American Academy of Family Practice, American Medical Association, Tarrant County Medical Society, Texas Medical Association. He is a current board chairman of the Baylor Scott and White Health Texas Provider Network and founding governor of the Baylor Scott and White Medical Group. He is currently with the Signature Medical Program at Baylor Scott and White here in Fort Worth. When he's not working, he enjoys reading, watching movies, hiking, and going to museums. He also enjoys time with his wife, who is his best friend for many years. And he loves it when his kids stop by the house. But I'm not going to stop there. He doesn't know I was going to do this. It's very short, but it really isn't. If you go online, most of us don't have a 5-star rating. I mean, maybe our spouse or significant other might give us a 5-star when we're good, but he has a 5-star rating because of his professionalism. And I just wanted to read you, and you can go, there are just a ton of comments. One is a good communicator, thoughtful, always a pleasure to see Dr. Kennedon. This is probably my favorite. Dr. Kennedon is a doctor for the right reasons. He just wants to take care of people the best way possible. He's amazing. Dr. Kennedon is always so compassionate and understanding. He is friendly and attentive. always caring and considerate. Dr. Kennedon is the best. Please welcome my friend, Dr. Kennedon, and now Rotarian.
Thanks, Betty. She went way off script. So Aurora told me that I had to tell y'all one interesting thing about myself. There is nothing interesting about me. So I did come back to Peter Smith, but I grew up in Fort Worth. I went to Pauley Elementary. I went to William James. I went to R.L. Paschal High School. And I went to, there we go, Panthers, go. And then I went to Texas Wesleyan University. And that's where I got my bachelor in science and chemistry and psychology. And my dad taught there for 31 years, and I grew up in that neighborhood. And I thank my father for tuition waiver. That was really good. I'm also a legacy because my father was part of this club back in the 1990s. I guess something I'll tell you what one of my interests is to do collaborative work. I've actually need to update my bio. I did get my master's in population health from Johns Hopkins. So I'm currently members of 2 state collaboratives. There's the Texas Health Service Authority, and I'm on the volunteer task force to improve communication between medical records, and that's going to help decrease patient harm. So it's very dry, so I won't bore y'all with that, but it's very important. So I get to explain it to the health leaders, the healthcare leaders, to know why it's important. And then the one that I'm currently very, very excited about is the Texas Care Collaborative for Preventing Hepatocellular Carcinoma, liver cancer. And we can do a lot with that. We had our 3rd annual meeting. We actually have a multi-stakeholder group now. We're currently writing a white paper and an executive summary, so I'm sure I'll be asking some of y'all to help me get in front of policymakers for the state of Texas. We're going to see a huge rise in cirrhosis and liver transplant, as well as hepatocellular carcinoma in the state, because liver disease is rampant. It's the new heart failure. Anyway, that's something that I'm very focused on. But the reason why I came here is I also want to do something with Tarrant County. So I want to serve on committees that are improving the population's health and equitable health access. And if not, I would like to work collaboratively with this group on those issues. So that's it. Thank you.
Not so fast, not so fast. Welcome.
She copied. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all your swag. So we can look around this room, and I know there is a maroon wave coming to North Aggieland. So let's hear more about that. Casey Oliver, Academic and Strategic Collaborations with Texas A&M University, is here to introduce our program. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Howdy and happy Friday, Fort Worth. It never gets old seeing more and more maroon here in Fort Worth, and more specifically in this room. So it's Friday, right? And we're going to beat the hell out of Arkansas. So I think it's a good day in the fort. And of course, I get to see y'all. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing my boss and your keynote speaker, Dr. Susan Balabina. And because you all know me and know I like to add my own flair to things, I'm not going to do the typical resume recount. Trust me, we only hire the best at A&M. And her resume is certainly stacked. And she does wear purple because her undergrad alma mater is purple. But before my TCU friends start raising those little horned frogs, she actually, her undergrad is from Tarleton State University, one of our sister schools, which we're very proud of. And of course, she has her master's and her doctorate as well. Which brings me back to her introduction. I think the best way of getting to know Dr. Balabina is to hear what her colleagues and peers and those whom she supervised say about her. Because upon accepting a new position in a new department, under a new president, and under a new division leadership in Dr. Balabina, I did what any good attorney would do. I researched her. Like, no stone unturned. So here's what I discovered from one of her former employees. Dr. Balabina, you get to work with Dr. Balabina. Oh my, she's one of my most favorite people. The sole reason I chose my specific job and profession, seeing her do what she does, working with the community, making things happen for countless people around her. She makes work fun. You're going to love her. Another employee, when I faced a tough situation in my current role, she was the first person I thought of and I called upon, because I could always count on her giving me sensible advice, shooting me straight, and knowing how to navigate through any situation. She's an invaluable resource to Texas A&M and to any team she works with. She helped me grow professionally and personally, and I wouldn't be where I am today without her. From another colleague that actually knows the both of us, oh, Dr. Balabina? Well, Casey, you know that passion that I tell you about that you have that's unmatched? Well, you met your match, and there's no one that cares more than you. Well, let's add no one that cares more than you and Susan. Casey, knowing that you and Susan will be working together, which I thought this was really funny, I'm actually a little nervous for those around y'all. They won't know what hit them, and I hope there's an endless supply of caffeine in your office. My husband would probably agree. Talking with a prominent judge in town who may or may not be in this room right now. Oh, you work for Susan Balabina? Yes, I said with some curiosity. And he goes on, I really like her. You know how she talks? And he's with his heavy accent. He says, you know how she talks? She talks like that because we're from the same like Northeast Texas town. And then he mentioned something about Pattonville, Cooper Bulldogs, that area. I'm from Beaumont, so sure. And he said she went to my rival high school too. She is the real deal. And in our conversation, I go on to explain all that she has under her supervision: economic development, community outreach, marketing, external affairs, and admissions. And he stops me at admissions and he says, admissions too? She's got all of that. She's got a lot. I said, yeah, she does, and she can get it done. He said, I absolutely agree. That's been my experience working with her, and I just think she's awesome. So, and on and on and on. I mean, every single person I talked to had glowing things to say about her, from personal to professional. She's been there, done that, and done so very well. She's been with the university and system since 1994. I'll let you do the math on that, and has made invaluable contributions to numerous programs, activities, communities, agencies, institutions, and individuals, which is why she now serves as our Chief External Affairs Officer and Senior Vice President for the Division of Academic and Strategic Collaborations. Simply put, she is someone people want to work for and someone that people want to work with. She's a zealous advocate, fearless leader with the take the bull by the horns. She literally put that in an email to me, and I love that. Get it done approach to life, and she is, and undoubtedly will continue to take us places. Texas A&M is better for having her in the lead, and it's a pleasure to be on her team and to learn from her. Fort Worth friends, please help me give a warm welcome to Dr. Susan Balabina.
Well, howdy. That's about the nicest introduction I've ever had, Casey. Thank you very much. I hope she didn't set the bar too high and you're not disappointed at the end of this conversation, but I'm excited to be here with you today. I spent half my career working out in the state, doing things for communities, working with Rotary clubs and Kiwanis clubs and other service organizations to make the world a better place in which to live. So when I get to come out of College Station and be out with normal, not that people in College Station aren't normal, everyday people, those are the best days, right? Because if what we do in College Station doesn't matter to you guys, then we're not doing our job. So that's a really good test for me as I go around the state and get to talk to people and get to do things like this. So I am incredibly excited to be here with you today. There is a little game that we hope to win tomorrow, and hope some of you will be joining us. But does this work? Okay. Should I push it? Okay, there we go. All right, and we can just go on maybe to the next slide and just talk a little bit about some exciting things that are happening. So, love being in the Metroplex. I spent a lot of time here, lived maybe across the way a little ways. I won't say where, Judge Pittman, I lived for a little while, but here I am today in the Holy Land of Tarrant County. And I'm sure our best Aggies are here in Fort Worth, Tarrant County, right? Yes, yes. So we've got a lot of us up here, and we're excited about the game tomorrow. And we have, I guess, maybe the best law school dean in the world. I was going to say in the country, but in the world here, Bobby Audier. And we're going to talk some in my first few slides about really a vision that he started that has come to fruition. And then in my last few slides, I'll give you some updates from Texas A&M and some of the exciting things that are going on. So let's get right to it. How about that School of Law? It is amazing. Bobby continues to climb in the rankings. These are just a few stats. We could go on, but we're so proud of our law school here. And I will just tell you, it seems like a long time ago now, a couple years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know when y'all flew to College Station with the mayor and John Goff, Bobby, but they came with a vision. There was a group of us in the room about creating a presence here in Tarrant County for all the right reasons. Everybody got on board and bought into it, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. But, you know, everything starts with bold leadership and a vision, and that's what we had, and alignment at the right time with Bobby, working with Betsy Price and John Goff and county government and all the right people to make something phenomenal here happen, which we are incredibly excited about. So let's talk a little bit about that. How many of you have heard of Aggieland North? Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to right now have 3 buildings and really bring our Tier 1 research capacity to Tarrant County, and we're very proud of that. One of those buildings is a law and education building. It'll be first, and it'll break ground next year in 2023. Is that right, Bobby? And it will accommodate our new law school, their growth, and some other Texas A&M system and university programs. So that will get started very soon. We're excited to see it happen. And I think simultaneously, the Research Alliance building will also be being built. And lots of really cool things will happen in that building. And one of my friends is here today, Amanda McFarland, who will lead a world-class nutrition evidence center in that building that really helps us think about the ways in which we feed the world. In fact, when that 5-star doctor was talking wherever he is and some of his passions, I was thinking, man, he's got to meet Amanda McFarland before he leaves here today. But really great things will happen. As you probably know, the Texas A&M University system isn't just Texas A&M College Station. It's also regional universities all across the state and 8 statewide agencies. So there will be phenomenal research and innovation going on in that building, and it will be exciting to see those 2 buildings go up. And then once they get up, we will demolish the old law school and build the Gateway Center, which will be the door to the campus. We'll have convening and meeting spaces, administrative offices for the law school program, and just be a great place with a beautiful plaza in between that connects to this burgeoning innovation district that we are so proud to be a part of. So such exciting things are happening for Texas A&M, for the law school, and for the Texas A&M system right here with our friends and partners, and we have appreciated such strong support from this community, and couldn't be more thankful for the way that this is progressing and for Bobby's original vision to bring this all together. So Metaphor, this is a fun thing that I'd like to tell you about. We right now are putting together an exceptional item request to the state legislature. Now, I am from Pattonville, Texas, Judge Pittman, so I had to get a little education on what the heck does metaphor mean, and I got educated. And in a few slides later, you'll see we've made a commitment to visual and performing arts. We have a very strong visualization program, and the industry industry is strong here in Fort Worth and there's opportunity. So Metafort will be something that is housed in our Fort Worth campus and an institute all about virtual reality, augmented reality, production, film, all sorts of really cutting edge technological industry needs to work hand in hand with the community here, and workforce development and Texas's economic engine will be centered right here in Fort Worth, Texas. So we're requesting some funding from the legislature, some funding from donors, and we'll use some institutional funding to make this all come together and happen. So you'll hear much more about this as we move forward, and there will be people much smarter than me who can do a better job of explaining exactly what it will come to be. So let's talk a little bit about Texas A&M. It's a great time for Texas A&M. Our president hired me last year to come in and work on various items with her, and she has a really bold vision for the university as we move forward. We are huge. We are 74,000, I guess we could say 75,000 strong, right? I mean, come on, we could say 75,000 strong in total enrollment. We are have over $1 billion in research expenditures. There's over 500,000 of us worldwide. Aggie network is strong, and we're proud of that. And we just are at a really good place and poised for the future in College Station under our president's leadership and vision for the future. And you'll hear some of those things in the coming slides. Again, $1 billion in research expenditures. That makes us #1 in Texas. That's an amazing accomplishment for our institution. And the thing that you'll hear our president talk about, and the rest of us soon, is that the difference between us and other people is going to be, we're going to make sure this research actually makes a difference to people, right? And that I was talking to her the other day, and I was drilling down with her because she's getting ready for a State of the University speech. And I said, no, what do you really mean by that? And she said, well, I mean that anybody working on a research project should be able to explain it to their grandmother and they'll understand it. I think so, right? If it's worth doing, your grandmother ought to understand it. So we're really proud of our research and its relevance to the state of Texas and beyond. Student health and well-being is another initiative the president will unveil very soon, because as I'm sure you all know from your various roles and capacities, mental health is a big issue right now with our college population. Between COVID and just various other things that are happening in the world, this is a concerning trend we're seeing, so we're about to invest in that and hopefully build a new student health center with access points all across our campus to address mental health in our students and make that investment. The Bright Complex, you know, football's a big deal for us, so we are really proud of keeping our athletic facilities up to date. We are building a new athletic training center, a new nutrition center for football, a new indoor track, which I'm really proud of because my son thinks he is a track star and he's convinced me he can can run here someday. So lots of exciting things happening on campus related to athletics, and we have such strong support from our generous former students to make those things happen. We are very proud of the fact that we have become a Hispanic serving institution, and we have a commitment. We're a land grant institution, and we want our population to come closer and closer to mirroring the population of the state and to serving all Texans, and having this status opens us up for additional funding, for additional grant opportunities, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to be concerned about. So we're very proud of that designation and believe it will serve us well as we move through the coming years. The Corps Cadets, anybody here ever in the Corps Cadets at Texas A&M University? Surely there's one. Is there one anywhere?
I've got two sons that were in
Whoop, there you go. Very good. Very good. Our institution was really built on the Corps of Cadets. For a while, that's really all there was, right, at Texas A&M University. And we believe that the Corps makes us a very special institution. And you see these kids walking around in their uniforms on campus, and you're just reminded of the foundation of service that built Texas A&M. So we have an initiative to march to 3,000. We want to build the Corps back up. Right now, I think it's around 1,500. We want to get to 3,000 by 2030. I believe we will exceed that very quickly, and we'll meet that goal well beyond 2030. So we're very excited about doing recruitment targeted to grow the Corps of Cadets. It's the right thing to do. It values our history as a military institution, and teaches kids a lot about leadership and our country. So we're very excited about that. We also, to go along with that, have a commitment, a $50 million commitment to award full scholarships to our ROTC cadets. We've set aside $50 million to support that effort as part of the overall recruitment effort to get kids into the Corps. The path forward. This is an initiative President Banks launched as she came into office as the president of Texas A&M University. It was an extensive management review of the university and all of its parts. It resulted in 43 recommendations for the university to consider. 41 of those were either accepted or somewhat modified by the president, and over the last year, we have had 41 working groups meeting regularly to institute change on campus. Now, just between us friends here, sometimes that is well received, sometimes, I don't know if you're aware, everybody doesn't love change. maybe y'all don't know that, but we are certainly embracing change through this effort and doing things to set the institution up for the future. And we have a website dedicated to the path forward that outlines all the initiatives. A lot of them are about administrative structure that will make us more effective and efficient as we move into the future. But it has been a massive undertaking, and people on campus and at our off-campus locations have worked very hard. In fact, one of the working groups is elevating our remote campuses and thinking about how we get past the mindset of College Station to the mindset we should have as this land-grant institution of serving the state, and not ever forgetting, hey, we got the law school up here that's a critical part of who we are and what we do. So lots of great work is going on through that initiative. One of the recommendations that Dr. Banks has aggressively embraced is expanding the arts on campus, and I've heard her talk about this so many times. You know, she will say, you know, people ask me, why am I, she's an engineer, why am I an engineer so passionate about having the arts on campus and expanding that? And it's because of her experience of new worlds that opened up to her when she got out of rural Kentucky and was exposed in college to fine arts and other dimensions of this. So we have a new school of performance visualization and fine arts. I referenced that to Metafort earlier. Metafort will be part of this new school, and it's a technical part of the arts, kind of an Aggie unique way of looking at the arts, so we're very excited about it. We will have a proposed Center for Arts and Education that will be a performance hall on campus that will be built, and it's just really exciting to see all of that come together and to make sure we're providing a broad education for our students, right? It's not just what they learn in the classroom, it's what we are able to expose them to that make them a well-rounded person ready to be successful in the world when they leave Texas A&M University. So we're very excited about all of that. We also have created a new College of Arts and Sciences for our history. There's been kind of two pillars, ag and engineering, the A and the M in Texas A&M. And President Banks made a commitment that, you know, really a lot of great institutions will have a third pillar of the arts and humanities. So we have combined and realigned some schools and colleges to create this new College of Arts and Sciences. One of the new departments in there that we're very excited about, and I don't know that we will, be as good as your newscaster here, but we will be developing a new Department of Journalism. Yes, because we believe the world needs some Aggie journalists, and we watch out, they could be coming for you, man. We are very excited about that new department. We're going to actually position them close to our KAMU public broadcasting station and look at new ways to reach out to people and what the future of journalism can be with this new department. We're thinking about putting a site for the journalism program in Washington, D.C. at our building there in the Bush School so that they can cover federal angles as part of their experience, and just creating a really unique and overarching great program for students interested in journalism. Aggie Park, this is a brand new park right in the heart of campus that was christened at our first football game, the one that we won, the first one. And it is absolutely beautiful. Robert Earl King came and opened it up for us with a concert. Our Chancellor, John Sharp, really took it to another level when he got down on one knee and proposed to his girlfriend that night at Aggie Park. And the first proposal ever at Aggie Park happened by our Chancellor, John Sharp, and it couldn't have been a more fabulous moment. It is a great venue for just students and student mental health, and it's beautiful. There's a creamery, there's ice cream. What could be wrong with Aggie Park? So it's lovely venue, and we look forward to all of you coming to College Station to see it. This is something that is just really near and dear to my heart. There was a reference to Buc-ee's earlier. Buc-ee's was in the news earlier, I heard, from the newscast. I picked up on that because we are so pleased that Beaver Applin, the owner and creator of Buc-ee's, has pledged a $50 million gift for us to create a program in hospitality and entrepreneurship. And he couldn't be a more delightful partner for us to work with. So we will be building on campus the Applin Center, which will host a lot of different things. It will be a living learning laboratory for our students to learn about the hospitality industry, hotel management, customer service. We will have our Mays Business School providing executive training there. We will have their Center for Retail Studies there. We will move our Rosenthal meat sales counter to this building so that students can work in a retail space and have hands-on experience. We will likely have some type of student-run food service / restaurant there. We'll have a coffee roasting lab, a viticulture lab, so many amazing hands-on learning tools for our students to learn from. So I mentioned coffee, viticulture. If I can get them to put in a chocolate bar, I'm moving my office over there as soon as it is constructed. So we're very appreciative to Mr. Applin for his gift, and we are looking forward to creating a very unique state-of-the-art facility that is like none other in the world in this area. Bush School expansion, President Banks, as she got into her role, said, why does the Bush School only teach graduate students? Don't we want everybody to learn about the noble calling of public service that President Bush talked so much about when he established this school? So yes, we do. We are going to move undergraduate programs in political science and international studies into the Bush School, expand their reach, and create more public servants for our country and the world. And this school is phenomenal. Dean Welsh is phenomenal, and we look forward to seeing the transformational things that happen by the expansion of the Bush School. Earlier, I referenced our Bush School, I don't even know if I said Bush School location, but I referenced putting a journalism program in DC. We have a location that the Bush School houses in DC, and we are also interested in building that out, talking to people like Dean Audier to see if there are law programs that could be taught and benefit from a presence in Washington, DC, and just open up more space for our faculty to use to get people into our nation's capital. And finally, we are also about to build a brand-new small animal hospital on campus in a prominent location through money that the legislature provided and donors have provided to just really excel so many people come to our small animal hospital now and use it as a community resource, but it also serves as a research and education facility, and this will be a state-of-the-art training ground for veterinarians as well as a service to our community. So I will close down now and just say a couple of more things. It is an incredibly exciting time for Texas A&M, in Tarrant County, for our law school and for our things like the evidence center that we're putting here, what will happen with Metafort. I used to be a county extension agent with Texas A&M AgriLife and was so pleased to see Courtney, our Tarrant County Extension Director, walk into the room. I mean, everything, the stars are aligning for Texas A&M and Fort Worth, and we just are so appreciative of your fond welcome and the way in which you all have embraced this, and we look forward to doing wonderful things with you as we move into the future. So I am happy to answer any questions or to just go sit down and be quiet. Either one is fine. Yes, sir.
You talked about 75,000 students on the campus or in the system. Is that the maximum number, or is President Banks looking at constraining that or going to 140, or there is a level where things don't work very well, you get too big.
Yeah.
Are we there at that point, or is there still potential for growth?
So that is a great question, and we get asked that question a lot, especially on the first day of school when everybody's trying to make it to campus and students are out driving for the first time to get to their classes. On that day, it seems like too many, I will tell you. But no, we're not at capacity yet. We have some innovative ideas about how we still grow, but don't grow too fast or too quickly. We work very closely with Bryan and College Station cities. We also look at ways we can increase that number, not just in College Station, but in our campus at McAllen and Galveston and Qatar and other places where we have the opportunity to put students. So it is definitely not accurate to say we're at capacity, but we recognize things that have to be thought about if we continue to grow. Yes, ma'am.
I noticed on this sheet about your freshman class that there are 3,600 underrepresented students, and I would like to know what students are included in that category, and if you can disaggregate.
Yes, they are underrepresented students we define as first-generation students as well as minority students. And we do have a breakdown of by ethnicity, but I can't quote it for you right now. But I can get that information to you if you're interested. And I will tell you, within my division, we lead admissions and recruitment, which is unusual because usually somebody like me doesn't lead that. But Dr. Banks, quite frankly, said what we're doing isn't working for underrepresented audiences, so why not try a different approach? So her thought was, she knew I would be doing community work, so she said, well, we're going to move recruitment into the division that does community work because they should be working hand in hand to reach those target audiences. So she's given us some very ambitious goals to reach regarding underrepresented recruitment. So thank you for that question. Yes, sir.
How much is tuition, room and board now, and are you guys doing anything to try to keep the prices down?
Well, I can't tell you how much it is, but I can tell you what we're doing. So there is a huge initiative right now for the entirety of the A&M system schools on affordability. Our regents have been very clear that they want to address this and that they want to make it reasonable for families to get their kids to Texas A&M or to Tarleton or to whatever regional system school there is. So we're still in the planning stages for that. We have a robust scholarship program. I mean, we have millions and billions of dollars given in scholarships. So that's one thing, but it's much bigger than that. And I think the regents and the system will be coming out with some things very soon that address affordability on our college campuses. You, and then I'll go here. Yeah.
I apologize for asking, but what was the protest outside about?
Bobby? No. I assume it was PETA. Yes, yes. I would, that's a great question. So certainly wasn't me. So we do research, quite frankly, and some of it uses animals related to muscular dystrophy. And PETA has strong feelings about that. So I didn't see them. We snuck in through the garage, and I never had a chance to see who they were, but I assume that's what it was. Yeah, okay. Yes, ma'am.
It goes along with this gentleman's question here. College enrollment is dropping. Are you guys concerned about that with all these investments? So as a nation, college enrollment is declining. How are you addressing that with recruiting more people?
Well, our enrollment is not declining. Yeah. In fact, we had, I think, 53,000 applicants last cycle. And so it's interesting. We don't have a recruitment problem at all at Texas A&M. We have an underrepresented recruitment problem that we're working to address, but we don't have a general recruitment problem. We've got more kids applying than we can admit. Now we also have some really creative system programs for that. We have a program called Blend Team that allows students to be co-enrolled at Blend College and Texas A&M and kind of have a pathway. We also have what's called a PSA program, which is a program for system administration. We have these, other schools out across the state. We've proven that some of those system schools can produce good graduates. Hello, Tarleton. So sometimes we'll give an option to get into a system school with the ability to think about a transfer, but we are not seeing a decline in enrollment. Yes, sir.
What do you guys have in place? And I mean, I think this is across all universities in higher ed. So many students coming out of public schools, they are not prepared at all for higher ed. All of the other stuff that goes on, how to study and everything. And so, I think the idea for the plan and learn the support system.
Yeah.
Especially today with cost and the stresses and everything, is the support systems that they don't have to study, they don't, besides, including all the money stuff, what are the support systems you have?
Yeah, we actually do quite a lot. We have an office on student success that is run by someone who's very passionate about this area, and they have ways of identifying students who may need additional support, whether that's academically or whether that's from an economic perspective, no matter what that is. So we have this Office of Student Success that keeps up with these students and puts them through programs and offers extra supports. We also have just a lot of other really cool things we do. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about the Posse Program. Has anybody ever heard about that? It is a national program, and we will be the largest Posse school in the country coming up. We've expanded our Posse program, but basically what happens there is not so much doesn't address them maybe not being prepared academically, but it does address underrepresented youth. So it puts youth in a cohort, and they come to Texas A&M as a cohort with an advisor and get extra support and help within their cohort to be successful. So student success is really important to our administration. She's coming up. That means I'm supposed to be quiet.
I think think I speak for us all. Dr. Balabina, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you all, please, thank you.
It is a tradition of the Rotary Club of Fort Worth to donate a book in your honor to the Fort Worth Public Library, and there's a copy of the book plate in here as a memento.
Hey, thank you so much.
Come back. I know you're going to be back in town.
All the time.
A lot.
I'll be here all the
Yeah.
time.
Thank you again, and thank you to our Aggie judiciary, our Aggie legal community. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Again, come back. Metafort, 3,000 cadets, a school of journalism, Aggieland North with a 5-year capital plan featuring a $1.5 billion investment here in Fort Worth. We're delighted to say that John Goff, we consider him a friend of our club, and he had said that this is the single most impactful thing that will happen to Fort Worth this entire century. So thank you again for being here. And this is without a doubt the best district governor visit we've ever had. Thank you, Kayla. Congratulations, Courtney. We love you. And Carlo, the generations here. I want to thank our sponsors again, Sierra Bank. They believe in 1890, they have made a difference in providing independent banking services across North Texas and recently opened their 9th location. Their motto, with you, for you, since 1890. Sierra Bank CEO Charlie Powell and Senior VP Henry Borbola are both members of our Rotary Club. And Texas A&M with 72,876 students and more than 508,000 former students. It's globally recognized as a research-intensive land, sea, space grant university dedicated to addressing the pressing challenges of our time and training leaders for the challenges of tomorrow. Thank you all. And next week, committee fair. Everybody please get here at 11 a.m. We're gonna sign you up and get you working. Don't forget the Halloween contest. You plan now for a costume. And next week, Don will definitely be here. It's Coach Jamie Dixon with TCU men's basketball. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great week.